In March of 2019, the popular battle royale game called Fortnite recorded over 250 million players worldwide. You see, the gaming world is growing, but there's dangers that come with that. Firsthand, I've played many games throughout my entire life, and I have experienced firsthand the mean and the cruel people out there that just want to tear people down while playing video games. As parents and adults, there's very little understanding of what goes on while children play video games. They don't understand how they can communicate live with people around the world, and they don't understand what type of bullying can take place. And that's what I want to talk about. According to Limelight Networks, there are people spend about 7.1 hours weekly playing video games. And that finding did not include any minors, any children. So it's safe to assume that children spend the same or maybe even more hours playing video games weekly. But what's the issue? What's the issue with that? The issue with that is that parents don't know what is happening during those 7 hours a week playing. They don't completely understand what is going on. You see, in this growing world of video games, it is becoming easier and easier to communicate with the people you are playing with. It's easier to voice chat, which is a live chat through microphone where you talk to somebody. It is easier, and it's becoming easier for toxic people to hurt those that they're seeking to hurt. See, popular video games like PUBG and Call of Duty, their voice chat is a very similar type of experience. In those games, you get to talk to the enemy that you're fighting because they're both shooters. And most of the time, the voice chat is filled with toxic and harassment and people who don't care about what they say. They're just saying it because they're angry or they just want a good laugh. You see, according to the Anti-Bullying Alliance, 76% of teens think more needs to be done about this. I believe there's not enough punishment for those who commit these cyberbullying attacks in gaming. There's not enough punishment for people who use racist, and homophobic slurs. You see, there's not one time in my gaming career that I have not heard a racial or a homophobic slur used to belittle somebody in a game. And I've played many games along my life. You see, what we don't understand is this could damage kids who are trying to get away from the bullying they experience at school through the video games. It's not healthy for them to come home after a long day of being bullied at school to also being bullied online. But what's the big difference between school bullying, and cyberbullying? See, I don't understand. As a society, we've placed this huge emphasis on stopping bullying at school, but why is there very little emphasis on cyberbullying in video games? It's a growing issue. You see, popular video game League of Legends, created by Riot Games, they've done a pretty okay job of trying to fight cyberbullying. Riot Games they don't have voice chat, but they do have chat logs, and they check these chat logs when they receive a report from other players in game that someone has been doing something wrong or bullying, and they'll check these logs and issue temp bans to those people. So that means they'll temporarily ban their account for a couple days, maybe hours. It just depends. But I don't believe this is enough. I believe it needs to be more severe. I think more companies need to pay attention and start using very strong bans for the people who commit cyberbullying. See, game companies have the ability to ban not only accounts permanently, but they also have the ability to ban hardware. And that means that they can take the IDs of the hardware of the computer that was being used while playing the game, and they can ban that ID. And that would not allow the toxic person, to play that video game anymore unless they bought a new computer or a new piece of hardware. And that can be expensive. You see, the National Cybersecurity Alliance says 13% of parents don't understand, or says that The National Cybersecurity Alliance found that 13% of teens, my bad, say that parents don't completely understand, or only 13 said that parents understand what is going on completely during the teens' internet use. What parents don't understand is that it's easy, or they don't know about that it's easier and easier for children, teens, to communicate with people around the world. They don't understand about voice chat. They don't understand that their 15-year-old son could be talking to a 40-year-old man somewhere else in the world. And what I think the problem with this is that with adult vocabularies, some vulgar things could be said that maybe a child shouldn't be hearing. And it's okay if an adult and another adult are talking about this, but for children to be hearing this, maybe it's not safe. So what I think should be done is we should kind of have the games can have the ability for you to put in your age when you launch the game for the first time, and based on that age, they either block voice chat, or if you are an adult, they give you the option to enable it or disable it. So for anybody who's under the age of whatever the game company decides, they won't allow them to use voice chat, and that'll block a lot of the toxic behavior that could come towards the children. You see, bullying as a society, we have seen what bullying at school does to the future generation. We see how it hurts them, not just mentally, but also physically. See, Journal of School Violence says that adolescents are 2 times more likely to attempt suicide if they're cyberbullied. See, as a society, we understand that social media can be toxic, but we're not so sure about gaming for some reason. You see, gaming is a growing hobby, and we need to start taking the next steps to ensure the protection of our youth from the very toxic communities that only seek to hurt them. Thank you.